What's up, y'all? I hope everybody's good today. This is a short, I think I always say that, and then I don't know how long it's going to be. I feel bad. No, I don't. I almost said I feel bad because I feel like these are scolding messages, but they're not scolding messages. They're just truth. And that's my assignment, is to share truth as best as I know how. And so I'm going to do that. And actually, this one is really about my own boundaries. And, I think there is truth and connection in my boundaries. And hey, so yes, this is what's up, y'all, about energetic and spiritual boundaries and the necessity of putting energetic and spiritual boundaries in place, and how to be responsible to one another and to ourselves around those energetic and spiritual boundaries. So one of the things that has been happening a lot lately, so I have astrologers, I have friends who are psychics, I have, whatever amount of energetic and spiritual workers. I know many, many, many of them. And many of those people are in my lives, and I use them as guidance and help and protection and clarity and all of those things. And several messages that I have received from people that I am in relationship with who do that work lately have been about energetic attachments. Like that there's a lot of energetic attachment to me, and a lot of people trying to energetically get at me. And, I recognize that, there are a lot of, sort of over the last 8 months, my profile has gotten significantly more visible. And, there are a lot more sort of high visibility things happening that are directing people's energy towards me. And I also recognize that, as far as I experience it, it is kind energy. It is love energy, right? It is loving energy. But it is also a place where people can really be outside of their boundaries and outside of respecting people's boundaries, right? There's a level of familiarity in which I move through the world, and that is the familiarity of humanity. I try to be with people like my soul knows your soul, because it does, right? And I want to offer that sort of way of being with one another, because I think it's important. And at the same time, my soul knows your soul, but that don't mean my person knows your person. Right? That doesn't mean my human knows your human, which means that there are parts of my human experience that you don't get access to. There are parts of my spiritual and emotional experience that you don't get access to, and that you don't have the right to have access to, because you haven't done anything to build safety and trust and connection to me in such a way that you have full range of the entirety of my being, right? And I hope that that's the same for you. I hope that everybody can't just walk up in your house, in your emotional, spiritual, energetic, and physical house. I hope that you are intentional about who you allow in your emotional, spiritual, energetic, and physical home, because you deserve that. And so there are a couple of things. My therapist said to me today that oftentimes part of the reason why celebrity culture, and I've talked about celebrity culture before and What's Up, Y'all, exists, is because it's an act of projection. It is what it is that we project onto someone else that allows us to not have to be in the intimate details of our own life, right? People become stars so that you can gaze at their light, oftentimes in the avoidance of your own, of cultivating your own. And that is what a lot of celebrity culture is about how do I avoid being in my own light? Because I'm afraid to be in the power of my own light. I'm afraid of the work that it requires me. I'm afraid of the things that I'll have to let go to do that. I'm afraid of the like security and safety that lives inside my illusions. Right? And I ain't saying nothing I don't know that I ain't lived. Right? And so we project this illuminating factor onto other people when actually the intention is always, for me, that whatever light it is you see here is a reflection of yourself. And it is an opportunity for you to return to self, to an invitation to return to your own light, not to project something onto this particular light being. Because we are all light beings, because we all have our own inner light that is there to guide us towards our highest good and our most divine purpose and path on this plane. All of us have that. And so if you're looking toward me for something that you don't have, you're in the wrong conversation. You know, the conversation is, what do I see there that is actually a reflection of that which is desires to come forth through me? That's it. Right? Because then when you do that, you don't have to be attaching onto me. You don't have to glom onto me, because you're not getting something from me that you are incapable of giving yourself. And that's the point, is that you are your own light. You can give yourself that. And so I invite you to do that. I invite you to see a light in the world and then see it as a reflection of your own inner light calling you forth. That is what it is. And so with that being said, I know that you mean it as an offering for people who have done it, but it is inappropriate. It's inappropriate to pull tarot cards about me that I didn't ask you to pull. It is inappropriate to, pull up my birth chart if I didn't ask you to pull up my birth chart. It is inappropriate to be energetically snooping on people. Trust me, I know, because again, I'm a snoop. And I've had to learn this. And a shout out to Jessica Lignado, one of my favorite astrologers, who often talks about like the ethics behind astrology and people's birth charts and things like that. And I do not give you permission to look into my energetic existence if I don't know you. Don't pull tarot cards on my behalf without my permission, because that means you are like going into my energy, but you didn't ask me at all. You know, and so for people who do that, I'm always going to invite you to look at what are the systems that are operating inside of that. Where is the system of entitlement, right? Like, you're not entitled to my body or to my energetic presence. You're not, and where's the white saviorism that lives in that? Like, there are all kinds of things that I think are operating inside of that come off as like good and nice, but are actually entitlement. I've never done a reading on anybody who didn't ask me for a reading. Never. Or who I didn't offer and say, hey, I'd like to gift you this. And then they either say yes or they say no. But I don't go and pull cards on people. It's really inappropriate. And when I've done it, it's been me being messy. And the karma around it sucks. Like wishing a thing for me, praying for me is very different than accessing my energetic and spiritual information without my permission. And I want that to be true for you, for whatever, if you are, and a lot of this are like people who are, I don't know, like maybe these are people who've been doing tarot and but my hunch is that this is new modalities for folks, or, a new area of exploration or whatever the case may be. And I do believe that the intention is nice. I think the problem is it's wrong, right? Like, do not, I would not go into somebody's home just because their door was open. Like, oh, their door's unlocked. Let me just go through their shit. I'm gonna tidy up. Even if you walked in my house and cleaned the whole thing, but you didn't tell me that you were coming to my house, I would not be happy that you cleaned my house. I'd be pissed that you were in my fucking house. So it's not about your intention, right? It's about consent. And so I'm really inviting you to be in spiritual relationships of consent and boundaries, and to be outside of assuming that someone is giving you something that you don't already have. Anything I offer is actually something that already exists in you. And I just happen to know it, and I'm sharing it with you because I know it already exists in you. So it's an invitation back to yourself. And inside of that invitation back to yourself is an invitation to practice appropriate spiritual and energetic boundaries. Because I don't want to keep having to do rituals to rinse y'all off of me. I don't want to. I want to be able to be in the overflow of love and care and compassion. And I want you to be able to do the same. And I want us to hold the appropriate boundaries that are necessary for us to stay inside a relationship. All right. Big love.